Hello everyone. My name is Shelby. Welcome back to my channel, Grace with Books. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys 5 books that really just make me happy. I think everyone can use a little bit of happiness, a little bit of joy right now. These are just 5 books that honestly just make me smile when I think about them. They are books that bring me so much happiness, and when I'm feeling a little down, I read them just to, get some warm and fuzzies. There is definitely a range of books on this list, and I'm so excited to share them with you, so we're just gonna jump in with the first one. The first book on this list is a new favorite of mine, and it is a new adult contemporary romance, and it is called Well Met by Jen DeLuca. Well Met tells the story about a girl named Emily who, after her sister is injured in a car crash, goes to Maryland to stay with her and take care of her and her daughter. This small town in Maryland, which is where I'm from, which I was just so happy about because, represent, always hosts a Renaissance fair every single year, and Emily's niece wants to participate, but she needs a guardian to sign up with her. So Emily volunteers and is almost immediately thrown into conflict with the organizer of the fair, Simon. This book sort of follows the Renaissance fair from them practicing and rehearsing to the actual weeks in the summer which it takes place. And you get to see Emily and Simon's hate turn into something more. I thought this book was so good. On one level, it was just a fun, happy romance. It was just so joyful, and the air and tone of it was so light, but it also got very deep and discussed some real life issues. And I love how Jen DeLuca was able to do these things simultaneously. I love that she was able to maintain a light air while also getting into some serious issues. I think that's so cool. This is just such a happy book, and I know she's coming out with more books in this series that talk about other characters that are mentioned in this book, and I'm so excited because I really loved her writing style. I love the whole setup of the Renaissance fair. I love that as a setting. I mean, just like the first line draws you in. It's, I didn't choose the wench life chose me. Just name a more iconic first line, I dare you. So that is just amazing. I love this book, and if you're looking for something light and airy and just happy, definitely check it out. The next book or books I'm going to share with you guys that just make me happy. I only have the second 2 books in the series. I cannot find the first one for the life of me. I've tried. And that series would be the Caravelle series by Stephanie Garber. As I said, I only have Legendary and Finale. I cannot find Caravelle, and it's pissing me off, but we're not going to talk about that. Caravelle tells the story of 2 sisters, basically, who live on this island, who have never really been off that island. They have sort of an oppressive father, and when the chance comes for them to go to this island to play this huge game called Caravelle, which is run by this man named Legend, Scarlett's sister jumps at the chance and drags Scarlett along with her. But on this island where Caravelle is taking place, things go awry, and Scarlett is forced to sort of play this game in order to save her sister. I love the setting. I think it's so magical, this sort of circus-esque theme of Caravelle. I think that the games are interesting. I love solving the mysteries and tasks and quests along with Scarlett throughout the book, and Stephanie Garber is just so great at surprising us. There were so many twists and turns I never saw coming, and that's true throughout the series. Honestly, I feel like each book is better than the last. It is so cool. I cannot wait to read more from her because honestly, it's just, she's so inventive. And honestly, I want more books in this series. I don't even care if there's no conflict. I could just read about these characters all day long. They were just so special to me, and I consumed these books, and when I read them now and when I think back on them, I'm just happy and I just smile because I just think these books are so well done, and just really, they transport you. These books transport you to a different place, and honestly, that's something we could all use right now. The next book in this list of books that make me happy, I don't own. I read it on the Kindle, and that would be The Problem with Forever by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is one of my favorite young adult contemporary books. I just think that it has such a hopeful and uplifting message, and you can't help but your heart just warms for these characters. This tells the story about a girl named Mallory and a guy named Ryder who grew up in foster care together, looking out for each other, until one day a huge accident happens that sort of rips them apart and they are lost to each other. Mallory was adopted by a family. Ryder is still in foster care, but in their senior year of high school, Mallory transfers to the school where Ryder is and they reconnect. We see their relationship strengthen and blossom, and while Ryder's life is beginning to spin out of control, Mallory has to choose whether or not to stay silent or speak out. This book deals with a lot of serious topics. It deals with issues with the foster care system, with some abuse, but the overall tone and message of the story is really hopeful. It was just so heartwarming to see Mallory and Ryder reconnect and discover these new feelings that they had for each other after their time apart. I can't gush enough about this book. As you guys know, Jennifer L. Armentrout is one of my auto-buy authors. I love her so much. I love her sci-fi series, I love her fantasy series, I love her contemporary series. Like, there's literally nothing that this woman can do wrong in my eyes, and this is just one of the books that really made me fall in love with her writing and her style. So I highly recommend it if you're just looking for a feel-good book. This is such a great choice. Next up, I have a fantasy book for my list, and that would be Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. This is sort of the perfect feel-good book because it is a fantasy and a standalone, which means you don't have to make a big commitment to it. The entire book flows so smoothly and it's about books, so you know, I'm happy. Sorcery of Thorns tells the story about a girl named Elizabeth who is training to sort of become a protector of these great libraries. But these libraries don't just hold regular books, they hold grimoires, which are books containing magic. When one of these magical books comes loose and unleashes a dark burst of energy, Elizabeth is blamed and forced to stand trial among the sorcerers. There are so many amazing elements to the book. I love Elizabeth, I love her strength and her passion for reading and books. I love the sorcerer who is instructed to guide her to the Palace for Judgment. His name's Nathaniel Thorne. I just had to look, I forgot. It's been a while since I read this, but I love this book and it makes me so happy. It was one of my favorite books of 2019. It was my favorite book of 2019. And I think that Margaret Rogerson just does such a great job of putting this entire story into one book, because I feel like fantasy standalones are hit or miss, and this one is definitely a hit for me. I highly recommend it. And this is just a book that makes me happy because it encompasses everything I love. It encompasses fantasy and romance and books and magic. So yeah, I just love this book and I'm always so happy whenever I get to talk about it or read it. The final book I'm going to share with you guys is actually perfect for May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month, and that would be Paper Girl by Cindy R. Wilson. This book deals a lot about mental health. It's about a girl named Zoe who has not left her house in years because the world became too scary of a place for her to live in. So what she does is she creates a paper world inside her room. She only talks with her family and an anonymous gamer on this chess site where she plays chess. But when one of her crushes from high school, Jackson, offers to tutor her to help her in an online math, she is forced to confront feelings that she hasn't had for a while. She is forced to let someone into her very closed off world. And as the title suggests for this paper girl, one spark and everything can disappear. This book does a really great job of talking about mental health. I think it is represented in a really accurate and positive way. I mean, the panic attacks and the anxiety that Zoe feels, I have felt those emotions, and it's so amazing to me that this writer can just articulate it so well. I love its emphasis on the positive aspects of therapy. I think that a lot of times in media and in books, that therapy can sort of get pushed aside when characters are dealing with mental health. In this book, it is really embraced, and I love to see that. I'm a big advocate for therapy. And overall, just watching Zoe's journey and watching her progress from the beginning of the book to the end of the book is so inspiring. I think it's an accurate journey of her dealing with her mental health. I don't think it is rushed in any way. It shouldn't be rushed, and I think Cindy Wilson did a really great job of just accurately describing that experience. So kudos to that. It was just such a well done book, and it just makes me so happy to see this kind of book. And it definitely is uplifting because you watch this girl's really inspiring journey in accepting herself and accepting the world around her. So yes, I adored this book. And those were 5 books slash series that just make me really happy. I didn't realize we had a little bit of a color scheme going on here. Comment down below what books make you guys happy, what are your feel-good books, and if you liked this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Hit the notification bell to get updates on when I post. I post every single Monday and Thursday, and just all of your support means so much to me. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day and week, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!